It's a guy, a car, and a podcast.
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 How am I doing?
Buckle up.
Oh, dude. Good to see you. You look good.
Thanks, dude.
Like, you've been looking leaner on the Instagram pics, but
I am a shit ton leaner than I was. Yeah, like a year and a half ago, I was like 270 pounds. I weighed today, I would like chalk the shit out of me. I'd weighed myself in a minute, like in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 200 pounds? What the fuck? I've been 200 pounds since pre-mission. Like, even when I got home, I was 205. Like, but I'm a lot bigger, like muscular-wise now than I was when I got off my mission, and not so fat. So, I mean, according to the gym scale, I'm like 7.5% body fat right now. I don't think it's accurate. Now I want to take a buoyancy test because I'm like, I still got this shit going on. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm not gonna.
it's good to see you, dude.
Me too.
It's been a while.
3 years.
That's true.
Almost 3.5, actually.
That's true.
Because last time I saw you, I know exactly when I saw you. It was like just before Christmas. We went and saw Scott Cameron.
Yep.
Press Cameron, what do we call him?
Scotty C.
Yeah. I like those guys though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I'm sure he wouldn't agree with my lifestyle at this point, but it's okay. He's a good guy. I don't have to agree with his either.
I think you'd be surprised, man. Like, I did this trip in February where I haven't been back to the mission field since I came home. And I decided, fuck this. I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot a documentary about the trip because I feel like there's a lot of missionaries that either haven't been able to go back or just haven't chosen to, like, haven't wanted to go back.
I haven't been back, and I just want to go there and raise hell.
So
like,
fun.
My wife and I were talking about it. I'm like, there's a lot of cool stuff that I wish I could have done when I was in Pittsburgh that I want to go back and do now.
Anyway, as a part of that trip, I actually sat down and did this podcast and video with Jake Golightly, Sarity, then Stratton, now Rogers, the Camerons, Seth Wasser.
So were they all out there, or
no? They're all in Utah. So basically, what
so you went out there and then you came back and interviewed.
I made a trip of it where I was just like, I'm gonna basically film my mission experience and fast forward. So I'm like, well, it started in Utah. So I went up to Utah, shot like Temple Square, shot the MTC, which was super funny because I'm sitting in front of the MTC. I just like that tripod set up and got a side shot of me, and I'm just telling the story of like us in the MTC, and the security guard I see him out of like my peripherals. He starts coming up the sidewalk to like talk to me, although I don't know that I'm doing anything wrong. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but he does come up in like the back end of my shot. He's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Like at mid sentence of him just telling the story, I'm like, "Good," and he made me like explain to him what I was doing, and he was like, "Okay, so are you going inside?" I'm like, "Dude, they wouldn't let me inside because I'm just so many reasons." He's like, "Oh, you're good then. All right, have a nice day." And then he walks off, and I get back to my story. But anyway, I had an interview with the Camerons while I was there, and then went to Pittsburgh and got to like have dinner with and do this with like dude at Baptist. You met Carl Swanson?
Yeah,
we went like golfing.
No, I remember the name for sure.
So I saw him and his family while I was up there, and then like the Derricks down who used to be in Beachview, now they're kind of like Washington. The Eismans, I don't know, people that I guess you'll have to serve in those areas to remember. But I saw a bunch of people and did this, and then just like shot I found all my apartments. So I got to like go to all my apartments and shoot like, footage of me sort of just telling stories about it. So the whole thing is going to be in a movie that I'm going to like throw up on YouTube after I get it all edited together in the next few months.
Now I know you were in St. Mary's.
Nope. Unless it was called something different.
You didn't serve in St. Mary's?
Unless it was called something different. I served in Leechburg or Katanning. No, I never got like south. Beachview is as far south of the city as I got.
Where did you serve?
I served
When are we
Leechburg.
starting? Are we starting? Or are we already?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going. I have no idea. I probably said some things that I shouldn't say. I'm like, why did you tell him about that?
I mean, at the end of this, it's important to me that the people that do this are comfortable with what's out there. So if there's anything we talk about that you want edited out, I have the power to do that. Just let me know. And I can always like send it to you afterwards, and you can review it. Just let me know what you like, what you don't like. Leechburg, Katanning, North Hills, like Chapel Hill, Cranberry, etc. Beachview, Kane, which is where we kind of went back.
Not St. Mary's, Kane.
Okay, Kane.
That's what it was.
Yeah. That's it.
St. Mary, though, isn't it? Like, no,
I
maybe it's not.
don't remember the name of that city in the sense of one that I've been in. I know it's so weird with that mission.
Right.
It's just so, at least it was. I imagine since it's like absorbed half of the Harrisburg mission, like it's even worse now. So.
Oh, it did?
Like 5 years ago, they shut down the Harrisburg mission, and they just kind of like put
Pittsburgh
it into
and Philadelphia are like, take care of it.
Kinda, yeah. So as bad as it was for us and the cars and all that, it's got to be a nightmare now. But I don't know. That was a long time ago. I'm glad you brought it up though, because you were so sweet. You sent me a text message yesterday. You're like, "Hey, if there's anything you want me to like bone up on or just be ready to talk about," I'm like, "That's good. We'll just have it ready." And then as I'm sitting here today setting it up, I'm like, this guy may not have thought about this stuff in years, and I'm going to be asking him questions. He's like, if I could have read through my journals or something, but I don't remember.
Oh, no, like, I'm not.
But,
I have a good memory.
Okay.
Usually, my wife's like, when you say you don't remember something, I call bullshit. Right? Like, and I don't blame her, because, like, I have a really good memory, but, like, sometimes, like, I really, like, you're like, you remember Carl Swanson? I'm like, that name rings a really, really familiar bell, but...
It's a weirdly strong name.
To say, yeah, I know, right?
It's like a literary name. It's nice.
Right? That is a cool name. I wish I had a cool name.
What? I mean, outside of you having the most white bread name of all time.
Oh my god, dude! You know what? I did Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
And like, I got my results back, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like 75% English and Scottish, a little bit of Irish in that. I mean, that's all the same stuff. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, and the rest of it's like Swedish, German, and French. Like no ethnicity at all. I'm like the most vanilla. I'm the most vanilla that you can be. What's funny is the same day that I got that result back, I get in the car. I'm going to meet some friends at Fox Cigar Bar.
Okay.
I'm sure you're heard. But yeah, I'm going to meet them. My Lyft picks me up, and I'm in the car, and she's an African American lady, and she's like, she starts going off on like all these hot topics, and I'm like, she goes off on gay marriage, and I'm like, my son's gay. She's like, oh, never mind, changes the subject. Starts going off on racism. Like, straight up, she's like, have you ever had... She's like, I was so worried about moving to Phoenix because I heard there's a lot of racists there. Mind you, I have a shaved head, right? So she's saying this to me, and I'm like, I'm going like this.
Like, okay. What if I just pulled it down right
like,
now?
Swastika right in your face, honey. Like, no. Like, not like that. She's just like going off on it, and then she goes, have you ever had a problem with racism here?
Meaning
like,
you.
Me, myself. Yeah. And I'm like... I mean, it's dark outside. I'll give her that. It's dark outside. She picked me up in front of my house. Like, she didn't have a light on or anything when I got in. And I'm like, I don't know how to answer this question. So I finally just say, as a white male, I have never experienced racism towards me in Phoenix.
To be fair to her, if you were standing right next to the rock, I'd just have to give it a few looks. I'd be like, it's pretty close.
You know what?
Thank you. It's not far off.
I take a great compliment of that, because like that, I think The Rock's a badass. Like,
yeah,
I follow him and I'm like, you're awesome. I wish I was you. Yes.
I don't know how you're not. I don't know how you don't have like a full like tent of like gym equipment that just follows you around in the trailer.
Right? I swear to God, that's what he does. Like, he's like, I have this everywhere I go. I'm like, how the hell you're in China? I'm lifting weights. That's like the same place you were working out at home. Like, I don't even know how he does it. But like, so she says that, and I'm like, as a white male, I've never experienced racism in Phoenix. And she's like, whips her head back, shimmies the car. I mean, we're on the freeway. And she like shimmies the car, and I'm like, yeah. She's like, white male? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I thought you were mulatto. I don't, half black, half white. And I'm like, no, I actually just found out today that I'm like the most vanilla that you can be. And like it's just like ironic that that's the day I find out. I'm like, because my dad was adopted, so like all I know is like really where my mom's from and stuff. So like we never knew where my dad was from. But he's like pasty white and red hair, like when he was a kid.
Your dad's a redhead?
Yeah, he's like so white haired now. Like he's been white since he was like 35. He was like straight white hair, and even in his 20s, he had like really really gray hair. And so like he just never knew where he's from. So like when I did that, I was really surprised. Like I was hoping I was half black or something. Not from him, obviously. It would have explained why like I can't jump as well as I should. But it gets me there. I get high enough.
I bet your 40's pretty good though. You got
I can run.
Yeah.
I used to hate running, man, and I took up running like a little over a year ago because a buddy of mine like mocked me saying that cycling is easy. And his wife runs. He doesn't run. Yeah. His wife ran, and if I could run a marathon, he'd be impressed. And so I ran a half marathon with his wife after like running for like 2 or 3 months. And my only goal was to beat her. That's it. I did not care about anything else. I didn't care if I died right after it happened. I'm like, I'm going to beat her simply because he's a jerk. 10 minutes. I beat her by 10 minutes. And it was like, she's like, I didn't know it was a race. I'm like, come on. Really? You didn't know
is there one of those that it's not in the title? Like race? It's like
like you didn't know it was a race. Like you didn't think I was trying to beat you. Like when I told her like what my split times were for miles, she's like, it's pretty fast. You never really ran before? I'm like, no, I hate running. And now I love it. Like you can run. Like for me, I used to hate running, but now when I run, I can clear my head because you're on autopilot, dude. I'm just running. Like sure, I might be trying to push myself harder and I can pay attention to my breath, but like I love running because I can just run and I can think about life. Like I can meditate basically while I'm running and go like, and I'll even think about like this relationship in my life. Am I okay with the way that this relationship is going? Am I okay with like the way I'm treating other people in my life? Like to me, it's really therapeutic. And I didn't know, like cycling's never been like that for me. Like I'm always like, oh, I don't want to run into anything. I don't want to hit a pothole, but like, running, I just kind of go on autopilot and I love it. Like it's one of those things that's just like.
Do you think that like as you're running, physiologically, do you think when you get your body up to a certain like RPM, do you think that you are now running physically to such a point that determining things like how relationships are going or how even the food that you're eating is making you feel is easier when your body is just that jacked, like when your heart rate's up and when you're
I don't know, maybe I never thought about
processing
like
difference, like there's a clarity in that. I've heard some weird stories.
I think it's just because you're in a rhythm. Like once you get in a rhythm, but then I would say, but it doesn't happen to me when I'm cycling. It's not the same. And I think it's because when I'm cycling, I'm on a road and I'm more worried about what's going on around me. Like I might be worried about like how close the cars are, like are there potholes, like oh, I can't get over in the gravel because that's going to blow a tire on me or anything like that. But like, and plus, like, since I lost weight, like, I just didn't really, like, I just haven't been that into cycling. Like, I like running. Like, it's just either I'm
It's probably easier when you're not, like, carrying around all the nonsense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, that's probably a big part of why I didn't like running before. I'm like, this is hard on my knees. Like, 70 pounds will do that to you, right? Like, strap my freaking 11 or I don't know how much you weigh. It was like 80 pounds. But still, strap my freaking 11-year-old around your waist and start running around. Like, yeah, that's not going to be easy to do.
Yeah. So on the subject of your amazing memory, what's your memory of like? I'm trying to think like what part of the experience I kind of want to start you at. The whole Mormon mission thing. Like at the time that we went, and maybe it's the same now, but I think the culture was different, and so our feelings about it going, I think we're probably a little bit different than maybe the kids are now. So I'm super interested about your memories of something as simple as like opening the call, like, or even before that, like what was your? I mean, we talked while we were in the MTC together, so I have vague memories of like your life before the mission, but like I don't know. That's
so opening the call.
Yeah.
I opened the call, and I was really excited to get it. I remember that. Like, I was like, this is awesome. Where am I going to spend the next 2 years of my life? I was really hoping for somewhere like that I'd learn a foreign language. Like I really wanted to learn Spanish or Chinese. Like that was like, if I could learn either one of those.
Did you have an inkling of how hard Chinese is, or was that?
Oh no, I've been told a lot. Dude, everyone tells me how hard everything is. And I'm like, I don't care. Like it's what I want to do. Like, actually, when someone tells me that something's hard, like I'm like, yeah, let's go do that then. Like you can't do it. Like yes, I can. Watch. Just watch me. My 6-year-old has the same philosophy. She's like, you can't do that. She's like, watch me. I'll do it right now. Like, but no, like when I opened my mission, I was super excited. Like that was like, for me, like that was I don't know, like I guess a rite of passage. Being Mormon, I don't know. Like I just like I
agree with you.
My parents were converts, so like they never went on missions, and I just. When I got it, I was super excited. I opened it, but I was very disappointed. If I'm being completely honest,
please do.
I remember thinking, this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've lived in Pennsylvania before. Like, my parents are from Charleston, West Virginia. Like, I lived in Philadelphia, not in Pittsburgh. But I was a little kid. I mean, it's not like I lived there as an adult. Like,
yeah.
But like, I've lived on the East Coast. I've been around all over the United States. So I was like, when I got it, I was like, this is BS, man. I don't even want. Like, I actually had a feeling of not going when I got it.
Was that more?
I felt jaded.
Just the area of the world, or was it more
totally that I wasn't learning another language? I wasn't learning another language, and it was where I was going. I'm like, I've been to Pittsburgh before.
Was that just connected to the fact that you're from America and that sucks, or was that connected to the fact that you had you had like a vision of your abilities and the things that you could contribute to the mission field? And that field just seemed
I had
like
a huge problem with self-aggrandizing myself at that time, so yeah.
Yeah?
I definitely thought a lot more of myself than I probably should have. But no, I think it was... So I read a book recently that I wish somebody would have told me about a long time ago called Who Moved My Cheese? Have you ever read it?
Heard of it.
Read it. It is a life-changing book, in my opinion. I read it, and like the first thing I thought, like I hadn't even finished the book, and I'm like, I get home and I'm like, hey, you need to read this book. This book's amazing. I'm only like 4 chapters in.
Yeah.
But like this is a really good book. And she's like, okay. And then she read it, she's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like this is a really good book.
Okay.
So, but the whole concept is like we fix in our head like what we think should be happening. Perfect example. Last weekend, I went to Bisbee, Arizona with my wife, and we were doing a show down there. And like on Saturday, I'm like, we're hanging out tonight, right? She's like, no, I got these plans to do this tonight. I'm like, yeah, like
it's Bisbee. How is she gonna leave you hanging out to?
Yeah, Bisbee's actually a pretty cool town. Have you ever been there?
No.
It's a small town. It kind of reminds me of like. Like a small town in the hills of almost like Park City, but it's not like Park City. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not Park City, but it's.
I guess if you say Bisbee, I think Superior. I think like really
don't think that.
Dumpy small town.
It's an old mining town, and it just has just like really cool old houses in it and stuff. Like just like the old house that you'd see in like Park City kind of thing, but not as nice. It's not as nice. I don't want to give it the wrong impression, but I love
it's
it.
Like a low rent Park City. Okay.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. I guess if you want to put it that way. But it's just like think like Radiator Springs from. If you want to liken it to a Disney movie,
that's
right?
Superior to me.
Okay.
So
yeah, but Superior is dumb, dude. It is rusty because it's a copper mining town, and it's. I don't know. It was just fun. Like I had a great time. Like honestly, that was one of my funnest weeks. I had a really fun time down there. Like, and yeah, it was for an event called Alice in Disneyland.
I was seeing the posts and
like
I still need to come to one of the events. But
we have fun. Yeah. So definitely different life than I expected when I was
just the burlesque hashtag, and I've seen and we're gonna get to this, but I didn't know about your wife also involved in it, and I was just like, wait, what? And I was going through her Instagram feed, and I was just like, there's stuff here that I gotta really dig into. This is really interesting.
Like we have, and honestly, burlesque has changed my life too. Like just like the way that I look at myself and the way I view others. Like it's a more accepting culture of all people. Like I've never felt more accepted than in anything else. Anything else. Like just, it's all body positivity and just love. Like people literally love on each other in it. And it's not like, oh, I just want to have sex with you or anything like that. Like it's just like they genuinely care about you.
So,
and they'll be like, what do you need help with for your act? Like, let me help you with that. No, you don't need to pay me. Just let me help you.
but I mean, am I just too programmed with like the conservative ideals that have been crammed into my freaking head?
Yes.
That me sexualizing it is inappropriate? Like,
Oh, no, totally sexualized. It is totally fine. Like,
okay.
I completely want to be sexualized when I'm on stage. Like, you should be sexualizing when I'm on stage.
But like, not to the point that, like, a strip club, not somebody's, like, rubbing themselves in the front row because of you. That's not the
No, well, if they did that, good for them. I don't know. Like, whatever. I don't have a problem with that if they did. But, like, it just...
Maybe that's what I can't figure out is the difference between a burlesque club and or show and just a flat-out
Well,
strip
the difference
club.
between a burlesque show and, like, a strip club is, one, the best way that I've ever heard it explained to anybody is it's the difference is the intention of the audience.
Which goes back to, like, if there's somebody rubbing
You don't get a
one
lap
out,
dance from a burlesque
they're... Are they missing the point? If they're just getting
it's
their
artsy
jollies
stripping.
off?
Let's just call it artsy stripping. Like
Okay.
it's so like when I was in Bisbee, like my whole act was I was going from the Cheshire Cat to Alice, which I had like a Cheshire Cat onesie on over like a huge Alice dress that I got in.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I had the yellow, like the blonde wig and the face, and then I had a onesie, like a skin tight onesie under that.
Yeah.
That I thought I would be able to tear out of, but I'm going to say this. It is really hard to rip out of spandex. Really hard. So...
Did you not perforate it or anything?
Oh, no, dude, I cut it. Like, my whole idea was I'm going to cut a hole in the mouth so it's already started, and then I'm going to tear it out.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Is it just like tearing a rubber band? Like, it just wouldn't...
Yeah, it just kept going, and I even made another cut in the chest, just in case. And this was me. I didn't do this on stage. This was, like, just me trying it in the hotel room the day of, like, but I had two of the suits, so I know like how this would work.
Yeah.
So then finally, I'm like, my wife's like, I'm just gonna have to come out on stage in a little like cutesy outfit and unzip you from behind. And I'm like, that's not my plan, and it just kind of bugged me. But like, it's I couldn't do it, so. And I don't know that I'm not saying that there's probably someone out there that can. I'm not that prideful. But like, it's just something that it's hard to do, dude. Like I mean, I've ripped out of shirts and stuff. Like that doesn't matter. But like ripping out of a spandex onesie is really hard.
Why don't we dive into this then? Because I'm super curious about all this.
But let's go back to the Who Moved My Cheese thing first. Like,
good call.
So I look at it and I'm like, the whole thing of Who Moved My Cheese, like one of the best quotes that I've read, and my wife says it to me all the time now. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Like today, what would you do if you weren't afraid? Would you start a new business? Would you go talk to the girl of your dreams, even though you're married? I'm not, I mean, that sounds like a horrible thing to say, but I mean, like, if you're not happy in your life and you don't like it, you should change it. And it's not that I think that you should be mean to the people that you love or the people around you. It's just, you only have one life. And I mean, at this point now, I mean, I'll say this: I'm agnostic. Like, I don't say that there's not a God, but I don't really take a stance on God. But like, I believe that I only have this life to live, and if I swindle this life living it for other people, that's really sad. That's really sad. And so,
which is probably the most God thing you could say, to have that much gratitude for your existence.
Yeah.
That the wasting of it is a reason for grief. It's like something to mourn over.
Yeah, I appreciate my life every day that I have and every experience. Like, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this podcast. Like, maybe. Like, I mean, I wanted to, but
I
it was
don't know
like,
if I want to do this podcast.
No. It wasn't that. It's not you.
This is the answer to the question for me. The answer to what would you do if you weren't afraid? I'd do a fucking podcast.
Right?
And here we are.
Right? And here we are. And that's like, I've been wanting to start a podcast, like actually just like, and I wanted to talk to you about it today, like a little bit, but like, Because like what I want to do is like things in Phoenix, like things to do in Phoenix, like get to know local business owners, and like and just get like help people know like cool things to do. There are so many cool things to do in the city. It's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And so like what I love is like there's all these little micro pockets all over the place, like Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa, Glendale. Like
there is
Scottsdale.
I mean, some of the biggest stuff you can do.
Yeah, Westgate's cool. There's a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, there's just so much cool stuff, and I want to experience like everything I can.
Fuck that, the whole state up north.
Yeah, like Flagstaff, Havasu, like Havasu's awesome. Bisbee, like who the hell goes to Bisbee? Me, and I want to go back. You live in Bisbee, it's badass. I'm not down in it. I just didn't know. Like Tucson is one of the coolest towns I've ever been in my life.
I would agree with you, so I need to see that episode.
It's a huge burlesque town.
Okay.
It's really big down there. And some of the coolest people I've met in Arizona have been from Tucson, even if they don't live there now. Just like, it seems like a really cool, laid-back place where like people are just real. And I appreciate anyone that's gonna be real. You don't like me? Tell me you don't like me, and I'm okay with that. No, not everybody has to like me. I'm not gonna cry about it. Like, I'll light a candle at the Catholic Church for you. How's that? Like, I don't know what else to say, but like, it's fine. It's just, it's the who moved my cheese thing that's like, what would you do if you're not afraid? And the expectations that you set on yourself and other people that don't get met, that upset you. You don't have control over other people. Yeah. As much as you want to. I used to believe that I had control over my wife, and I was controlling over my wife. But like, I'm not now at all. But it's just one of those.
It fucks my shit up currently. Not that I want to have control over a woman or control in a romantic setting, but the lack of control that my life experience has convinced me that I have makes it hard for me to just do anything. Like, to really motivate myself to be kind of what I just naturally am, this like over-giving, over whatever, because now like all of my abandonment issues are just constantly triggered by just anything she'll do, because I'm just constantly like, you know what, she could wake up tomorrow and just be like, he was cute and it was fun while it lasted, but I want something better or different or whatever.
But
and then I'm just in the gutter.
It's not about better though. Like really, like when you think about it, it's not about better. And that's I think the enemy of peace and happiness in our life is comparison. We always want to compare ourselves to other people. We always want to be better than other people, right? Like, I want a bigger house than these guys. I want a nicer car. I want to keep up with the Joneses. I want to seem cooler. Just be you. Like, the more that I just embrace who I am and what I like and share that with other people, I find other people that, like, I used to think I was weird. Like, I mean, I am weird, really weird. But, like, it's weird, yeah, it's weird to be a professional.
Your weirdness is beautiful, though. Like, it's
everybody's is. Like, you should exude just, like, the love and fervor that you have for life. And the people, like, in burlesque that I meet, that's what they have. They might be broke as hell because they're spending their money on crystalling a costume and bedazzling stuff, and then they're taking it off, and then they're getting, oh, I did that one, but now I got to come up with another one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's their passion, and it's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everybody's sexy. Like, I can look at somebody that's, here's a perfect example. There's a lady here in Phoenix, that she's a bigger burlesque performer. Like she does a lot of shows and stuff. And she's a bigger lady. She's not small. But I remember the first time I saw her, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's sexy.
Uh-huh.
And like, I would never see her on the street and be like, she's really sexy, you know, like she's really good looking. Like, I mean, it's not that she's ugly. It's just like, it's whatever.
So it's just whatever that character or that performance brings out of her.
No. Out of her. Like, she lays it all out there, right?
And it is sexy.
And that is sexy, right? And she owns it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, God damn, like, I can't believe it. I've been like, I was at the show and I'm like, did you see that? My wife's like, yes. Oh my gosh. And now like that I've been doing it for a little bit, I refer to it, especially when I'm talking to like another performer, and they're like, oh, I'm like really, I don't know, I'm not so confident. I don't really want to do it. Like, no one's gonna like what I'm doing. I'm like, it's
So that
funny
does
because I'm
exist
like
within the community.
I'm making fun of girls like they're whiny. Guys do the same thing. Like it doesn't matter. A guy can do the same thing.
Okay.
And most straight guys don't do burlesque. Like there's a lot of gay guys that do, and I'm like, they're like, you're straight, you're bi, right? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay. But you had a pink thong on. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, but no, it's just. I always say like let your inner sex goddess out. Like that sexual side of you that you're fearful to show the world. Let it out. And when you do that, it's captivating. It doesn't have to be over sexualized. Like really, like with burlesque, like it's a tease. It's the art of tease. It's not about stripping. It's about the tease. You're getting there, and you're going to be in pasties. You're going to be in a thong, or maybe you were just wearing maybe you're wearing fishnets and like something under your fishnets, just like a normal underwear under your fishnets.
Yeah.
But it's that's really what burlesque is the art of the tease, and it's just.
But it's not like tantric. It's not like they're trying to like swell the buildup of the tease, because the longer you swell that, the better the orgasm is in the end. There's no aim for an orgasm. It's just the enjoyment of the tease.
Yeah, I mean,
because the kid inside of me that still like watches porn and masturbates, like I
love that you say that on this.
no-
That's awesome, because so many people act like they don't. I'm like, when people are like, I was listening to this guy and he's like, I don't know, I just don't think I could like get it up for anyone but my wife. And I'm like, you watch porn, right? Like, you do. And he's like,
and let's not even talk about what categories you're clicking on.
yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever you're into, dude, good for you. I don't have a problem
But
with
that's
it.
getting you
You've
all
been
the
on
way
Chatterbait, right? Like, no. But like,
But
no.
that part of me, like, I'm not sitting there and watching a whole 45-minute video. Do you know what I mean?
No, and I mean, like,
essentially what I need
a normal.
out of it, and then I shut it off. Like, I don't need it to keep going.
Once you're done, you're like, I'm good. We can turn it off. Like, I don't have
I'm
any.
gonna sleep now.
It's better because like the person that's on it, like you're not worried about them. Like you're just worried about yourself. The person on the screen doesn't care.
Which is a whole other conversation.
I mean, that's
about
totally
how that,
different. We're going way
twists
too far.
My
This is getting an adult
capacity
podcast.
to like connect to another human being, but I guess I just get to cross this bridge.
Yeah, right. My personality does this, and I don't know, but like, no, it's just like with burlesque, it's just a lot of. I mean, you only have like 3 to 5 minutes that you're on stage.
Yeah,
it's a song,
which
right?
is enough time to really
Like, yeah. So it really is just about the tease. Like, it's about what.
So it's super akin to stripping. Like you
Well,
have
it's totally
a
stripping.
song, and you're just kind of performing to the song, and then you're done. That's your sketch, and off you go. And
Yeah, and then you're
the
done.
next one
Unless you're
comes
like me and you MC a show and you're introducing other people and telling jokes in between sets. Like,
Yeah.
which I love doing. Like, I actually love doing both. In Bisbee, I applied to do the MC job, and they had this other guy that's a magician that lives in Bisbee. And once I saw a picture of him, they said, "This is who we're going with." I'm like, "Oh God, seriously, take him." Like, he is the Mad Hatter, like totally. And then I was like, my wife, I'm like, I don't even care if I go anymore. You can go. And she's like, don't be like that. And it was totally selfish of me. Like, I'm just like, I didn't get what I wanted from it, so forget it. But that was totally like Who Moved My Cheese, right?
I was gonna say, does that connect to Who Moved My Cheese?
Totally Who Moved My Cheese.
Okay.
But like, my wife's like, no, you can dance. Get up and do a dance. And then so she like emails the
Is there
producer.
any part of that coming out of her that's selfish? Does she dig what you do so much? She's like,
Oh, she loves
my
watching me do it."
weekend's gonna be better if you're dancing. Like,
She loves watching me do it. Like, and I love watching her do it. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, my wife she came up with a Maleficent routine a couple months ago that she's performed twice now. And actually, the last time she performed it was not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before. And I was emceeing that show. But a co-host that was there with me, like, she was watching it, and she's like watching my wife do it, and she's like turning back to me, she's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Right?" And she's like, "Yes, yes." And I'm like, but that's the thing, like watching my wife come into her own sexuality, and being able to do that on stage in front of a bunch of strangers. She wouldn't do that before. Like, that was something that was not in her wheelhouse of like even wanting to do.
Of the two of you, was she the first one?
She
to
was
have
the
a-
oh, totally.
And so you.
She asked me. She's like, I want to do burlesque. I'm like, hell no. Hell, are you serious?
How long ago was that?
That was last summer.
This is recent. Then.
This is so recent, dude.
Wow.
Like, so like, she's like, and it really when it happened,
was she like watching it from a distance for years and was like, I'm really
No. So we went to Vegas beginning of last August, and she got tickets to a show called Fantasy, and it's the same. It's at the Luxor. It's the same stage where Carrot Top does his thing and stuff. But like, I've never seen Carrot Top live, but I don't care. But good for him. It's not my kind of comedy. But we're there and we're sitting in the front row, and
you're with her at this show.
Yeah, we're together. We're together.
All right.
I'll go watch people strip with my wife. Why not? I have multiple times. But like,
Vegas, I mean, one show doesn't.
Yeah, right. Go watch people strip with your wife. It makes it better. Your love life improves. Trust me. But really, like, we went there, and then like the host started talking to me and like asking me questions, and then all of a sudden, like, she stopped, and then my wife had to go to the restroom, so she got up and left. She went out. Yeah. And then the host, she calls me up on stage. And so I go up on stage, and I mean, I am an attention whore. I don't think you know that. I mean, it's like, hey, look at me. Like, why not? But like, she calls me up on stage. So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting up on stage. So I get up, and she's asking me questions, and she's like, where's your girl? And I'm like, she's in the bathroom. And then like, they took me back. They put like this pompadour wig thing on me that's like Elvis, and like, I came out, and I was like holding this Elvis stuff and like dancing around with the girls, but like, I go and sit back down, or I go and I'm done, and they like take a picture of me, and they're like, hey, like, and then she's like, where's your girl? And I'm like, oh, she went to I'm like, oh, she's right there. She's walking down the stairs, spotlight, right? And she's wearing like this little spaghetti string bodysuit that's like with a mini skirt. Hot as hell, babe. You look hot as hell. You always look hot as hell in that outfit. She does. I'm not even gonna act like she doesn't. But we I sit down, they put her on this thing, they bring her mic and they start asking her questions, and then I sit down, and then they have a comedian that's kind of co-hosting with her, and he comes out, and then he calls my wife up, and he's like, give me a smack on the butt, and then she's just all like, and she just gets into it, hamps it up, and like, she's really, like, my wife is an introvert, like, and it's kind of funny because I'm not an introvert, like, I'm not an introvert, I get it, I could care less, I stay at home by myself. But like, or get any recharge time on my own. People are like, are you on crack? I'm like, no. Just me, 100% me. But no, just like, and that for her, like, that made her want to do it. Like, that attention, and the comedian telling her how beautiful that she is, like, she really soaked it up, and she's like, I want to do this. And then me, being a controlling a-hole, when she's like, I want to do this, I'm like, I just want to keep you for myself and not share you with anybody else. Like, no, I'm not okay with that. And really in life, when we do that to other people, when we squash other people's dreams, that really hurts them. And it's not okay. And it wasn't okay for me to do that. I came around relatively quickly, like within 2 months, but like, she just did it. She's like, no, I'm going to go take classes.
When you say you came around.
I came around to being okay with her doing it.
On your own, or is it something she kind of kept bringing up to you?
She kept pushing it. Like, if it would have been left up to me, like, it would have been, no, we're not doing this, and I'm not. Oh, wow. But I'm glad that she has the backbone that she has, and she stood up to me, and she's like, no, I really want this in my life, and I'm going to do it. And really, I think the reason that she wanted to do it is because I'm an asshole. I don't know. Like, at the time, I would say that I was. I can own it. I know myself.
But just that she has the same instinct you have, where if someone tells her she can't do it, she's like, I'm
going to do it. I'm doing this anyways. And she's a beautiful dancer. Like, she is a really, really good dancer. And
do you have, like, as you watch her now perform, whereas it seems like she's really come into herself and she's an amazing entertainer, can you, like, fast forward into your brain? If I remember the story of you two meeting correctly, it was in seminary, right? Institute, that's right. Can you fast forward in your mind to, like, her just in the, like, you know, jeans and a modest top and, like, all that?
Yeah, her little headband and her cutesy little modest shirt and
jeans. Can you play the whole emotional arc in your brain of how you got from there to here and just appreciate it?
If anyone would have told me, like, a year ago that I'd get up on stage and strip down to a thong and pasties and shake my ass, I'd be like, whatever, dude. No way. not me. I can't ever see myself doing that. But like, it's really helped me as a person. And that, like, a lot of the growth that I've had over the last year and 6 months, I've really been, like, I've really felt allowed to be myself and allowed to not judge others. Like, I feel like I was trained from a young age to judge other people and put them down for not living the way that I live.
Even if not, like, and worse, I think, on my end, not verbally, not vocally.
Oh, no,
just
yeah,
in my brain.
Exactly.
Just putting them in that
Like
place of I don't know, I guess, control in my brain of saying you're less than,
And I mean, just like through my life, like, it's not like it got better as I got older. It only got worse, right? Like,
it's habit. Once your behaviors hit habit, it steamrolls. Like it's like a snowball. It just gets bigger and worse. Your habits don't plateau. Like, everything about you is either getting better or it's getting worse. And so if you have a habit, you might just think am I making sense? It's almost like you have to be carefully taught to hate kind of thing. It's like racism in a child is nothing like racism in a 90-year-old.
Oh,
because it over time, like your feelings attached to that, it just the residue on it just builds and builds and builds. So there's just no, when you talk about like it wasn't going to get better. Yeah, it just naturally gets better.
Hate is a learned attribute. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not something that no kid gets up and goes, I'm gonna hate somebody today for no reason whatsoever. Like, seriously, just because they look different. Like, it's just something that you don't do. Like, kids love everybody. And when I say kids love everybody, like, they genuinely love people. And it's not
so
sexual.
Inclusive, so curious.
Yeah. Like, who cares if you like wearing whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a son that came out to us as being gay, and like right after he did, he's like, I want all new clothes and I want to have like girl shirts. And we're like, okay. And so we got him the clothes, and like last year at school, like he wore the clothes to school. And one thing that it really taught my son was just like, hey, like, people might act weird towards you because you look different than them.
Did you say he's 11?
He's 11, yeah. He came out when he was not even 10 yet. And when he said it, I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you know that you're gay? Like, I mean, I knew that he could have feelings for somebody at that age, because I remember thinking...
I love that you asked the question, and I love that even recounting it to me right now, the attitude with which you asked the question was pure curiosity.
Yeah, no judgment.
Zero judgment.
There was no judgment.
Here's what I need you to be.
And I didn't need him to be anything different than what he was. It was just like, you're telling me something, and I'm going, but at your age, how do you really understand what that means?
Because you and I, being heterosexuals and being in a heterosexual society, we never even had to ask ourselves that. It just made sense.
Yeah,
from day one.
I mean, like, I can look at a guy and be like, holy crap, that guy's really good looking, right? Like, he's ridiculously good looking.
Still do.
But that doesn't mean that I want to kiss him or have sex with him. Like, it just means that I
P.S. You look great. Just
nice. I think so.
So your son.
So my
10
son,
years old.
Yeah, 10 years old.
Wow.
Not even 10. He was like 2 months before he turned 10. And my wife's like, yeah, I totally knew that. My wife had told me for years, like, I think he's gay. And I'm like, all kids run with a gay arm, like, right? Like, there's no coordination at a young age. It really, that was just me, like, boxing in my heterosexual mind frame.
Yeah.
Of like, no, my son's not gay. He's heterosexual, just like me. Like, he likes girls. And he will like girls. At some point, I might be sitting in a strip club with my son. Like, I don't know.
So you did, on some level, you had that. Maybe you didn't have it in the moment that he had.
No, I didn't have that. But like, when my wife would say it, I'd be like, no, like, yeah, maybe. But I'm like, no.
Wow.
And it's just like, that's in my head. And it's not that I've never had any issues with people being gay or anything like that. Like, even though, like, being taught, like, it's wrong as a kid and stuff, like, I never had any issues with anyone being gay. Like, it was whatever. That's your thing. Do your thing. That's cool. You're going to hell for it, but that's fine. Like, you know, like, but no, like, when he said it, I said, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I had a crush on my first grade teacher. My third grade teacher. I was like, I wanted to kiss my third grade teacher. Like, I'm not even joking. I thought she was so cute. Like, but whatever. I mean, so when I asked him, he's like, well, you know how you want to kiss mommy? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I want to kiss a boy. And I'm
Did
like,
he refer to a specific boy, or was he just talking
no, he like
general terms?
Like we're like, well, do you have any boys you like? And he's like, I like this guy, like he's cute in my class. But I'm like, and that's when I was like, okay, like he really is gay. Like he thinks the guy's cute and he wants to give like, but he wasn't like, I want to kiss him. He's just like, I want to kiss a boy. Like there's no girls that I want to kiss. There's guys that I'm like a guy I want to kiss. I'm like,
in the time since he came out, has he talked to you about the fact that like he saw examples of it to even know what gay was, and that
so he has a
him to
he has a
find
cousin.
himself, or?
He has a cousin that's gay. That's 18 now or 19. I can't remember how old he is.
Okay.
I know his birthday. Kate, I know your birthday. I just don't know your age. Actually, it's 99, so he's 20 this year. Because he was 4 when I met my wife.
That's close enough, though.
So,
Some odd years apart.
Yeah. So, like, and he just didn't, like, and it's not like, I don't, and I've asked my son, he's never been sexually abused. Like, oh, they're gay because they're sexually abused or anything like that. Like, it's just because he thinks boys are cute and wants to kiss a boy. And maybe someday he might think girls are cute and he wants to kiss a girl too, or both, or whatever. Good for you.
Like,
but like
the fluid nature of our sexuality is something I'm fascinated by.
Right?
Like that.
Right? Like what guy out there doesn't want to do it to girls at the same time? That's or porn. It's just all the same. Like there's videos out there. Like whatever you can think of, there's a video of it online.
There's nothing in me that wants to be in
with
more
2
than
people.
More than
Really?
Like I just because who I am. Like I pay so much attention to them.
Yeah.
And it's so intimate. I can't wrap my energy around 2 beings. I can't pay enough attention to both of them. Where
Oh no,
I
I'm
feel
not
like
even
they're
talking like
being-
I'm on like a total connected level with you and I'm dating you right now. But even that, I think you're putting. Well, maybe you can. I'm not gonna say you can't. But some people can. Some people can't. Obviously, Mormons were polygamous and they had a bunch of wives at some point.
Yeah, but that's not. It wasn't intimacy. It was just.
Are you trying to act like they didn't have sex with their wives?
No, I'm saying probably many at once. Fine,
Yeah.
but like intimacy. That was just an orgy, and good for them. But I wouldn't be able to find my place in an orgy because somebody would start touching me, and I'd be like, "But do you mean me? Like I need such attention that
Why,
like
though?
I just can't."
Why? Like I like.
I think it's a self-esteem issue. Like,
And it might be.
sex makes me feel so needed and valuable and all those sort of things. Seriously, I had a girlfriend that I lived with years ago, and it was like just the sexiest time of my life. Like just sex on every place in the apartment and all that sort of thing. Like to the point where I tell people now, do not die without having the best sexual encounter. Because I still remember, like, just laying on the bottom and she was on top, and just, I remember the quality of the orgasm, like, everything was just crazy. But my point is,
Go have a better one. Your best orgasm is still heavy. Just remember that.
I think that's true.
Because here's
scares
my
me.
personal belief. I might have had really good orgasms before, but the best orgasm I'll ever have is the next one I'll have.
Hope so.
I mean, there's a difference between masturbating to porn orgasm and like actually having sex with somebody.
Yeah.
Orgasm, like way different.
Yeah.
Way different. Like you're just doing a job when you're
It's
doing
almost
with
like
yourself.
the nature of sex because the other person
Hey, ladies.
is just doing what they're doing, and they're not plugged in enough to you to even know what you need and how you need. When you have a real good one because they just happen to hit the right flow, it's a beautiful moment.
Then tell them. My wife and I will sit there and tell her, like, I don't like what you're doing right now. Change it. We need to change positions. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe I've just been single too long. I'm so fragile.
Just go out and have one-on sex, but make sure you're not stupid about it. Use protection. But no, like it's just it's. But I also view sex very differently than I did when I was younger. Like even like I view sex very differently now than I did a year ago. Like to me, I look at it and I'm like, it's an activity that is fun and it's enjoyable. But other than I can get somebody pregnant and create life with it, like how is it any different than me going for a run?
That feels like this Arnold Schwarzenegger philosophy that I'm super curious about. Where I think he feels the same way. He gets the same high.
But it doesn't mean that I don't want to be connected to the person that I'm with. Connected to the person. It doesn't mean that I don't. Except for connected to me.
Right.
When I said it, when the word, that's why I do good as a burlesque MC, because I think of that stuff when I say it out loud as I say it. I don't do it with work when I'm like working like in my profession. I don't do that. But like, sometimes it depends on the client. But
you're like, see, so the house is connected to. Oh,
yeah, they're connected. Yeah, they're connected. Just like that. But yeah, like I'll send my wife emojis like, hey, what are you doing later? She's like, I don't know. I'm like. But no, it's yeah, I know that you can connect with somebody emotionally and spiritually even, like, doing it, but I feel like you can do that just talking to somebody. Like, there have been people that I've literally sat down and talked to that I feel closer to having that conversation than probably I would have sex with. Really, when you break that down, and that conversation can be a lot more intimate, a lot more,
like very edifying, like it just
and uplifting to your soul, so to speak, right? Like, and
you know what's twisted is in the heterosexual field. That is usually that just makes you have sex with them. Not in a pervy way, but just because having connected with them that way, I just want to take it to every level that I can, and 90% people I don't have that privilege with. So
but
just because.
But I think in our society that we've over sexualized sex. We've made it more than it is, and I think religion's to blame. If I'm being completely honest, I think religion and monogamy is to blame. Because
monogamy is
yes, in and of itself. Because I blame the Victorians, like where we all became a couple and we sipped our tea and we only had sex with one person in our life, and it just all that stuff. Like it's just we make it out to be more than it is. And you could get diseases from doing it, but I could go and wrestle on a wrestling mat and get staph, right? Like I could get really messed up stuff just being and doing normal things. I don't have any cigarettes, dude. Sorry. What's love, right? Like we want to say that we love somebody, right? And I'm going to devote my whole life to that person, and I'm going to be committed to him, but I'm going to control them at the same time. I'm going to tell them that they can't have a relationship with somebody else of the opposite sex because it encroaches on my relationship with them. What if they like that other person more and they want to leave me for them? Right? Like our society tells us that. If you allow your wife to go and have a relationship with another man, she's going to want to leave you.
And you're suggesting that the only reason that it does happen when it's happening is because of the constraints.
It's because monogamy is broken. It's because monogamy is broken. And nobody, I do not believe that our society, that us as humans, were ever meant to be monogamous. Every man in him has a desire to spread his seed. Every man. Like, I guarantee it. If you just broke it down to the base instinct of a guy and you said, do you want to have sex with everybody? Yes! Like, why not? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's an episode of control. You're like it's a mechanism for a mechanism for control.
Do you think the human animal has the ability, like apes or what have you, to live in communities where there's like an alpha and he's the primary seed spreader and the rest of them, like, because isn't that what it would just devolve to? Like, it's not like.
Why would you say it would just devolve? Like I know people in polyamorous. I know people in polyamorous relationships that have been together and are happy for long periods of time. Like I mean, a long time, their whole life, and they're like, and they're happy, and they might have different sexual partners. They might not. They might just have other people that they connect with on a deep emotional level, and they love that. Like I know a guy that I talked to a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me about how this dance partner that he used to have, like, and he's polyamorous. Like he's married. But he has a girlfriend, but like his wife has a boyfriend. Like it's cool. Like they don't care. And and they're happy. They just renewed their vows for 5 years, like this month even. And that night, he told me that he was in a cuddle puddle with like a bunch of different girls, and his wife was out talking to some other guys. But like, I don't even know what a cuddle puddle is, dude. That's
hilarious.
Right?
I love it. I would be curious what their fights are about, though. Just in general, like where because of what like monogamy, I think is really like sociologically programmed into us.
It's security.
And so the breach of that has got to have a psychological and emotional response only because we've been raised in this. So it is what is deemed appropriate, and we're too deep in for that programming to be completely lifted out of the individual. So there's got to be some hurt. There's got to be some complaint. There's got to be some problem with it. Not necessarily because they want there to be, but because the programming that you can't lift out is just how it's screaming at them that there's a
comparison.
problem.
In my mind, it's comparison. You want to compare your relationship with that significant other to somebody else's relationship with that significant other, and it's not the same. It's not the same at all.
I feel like the polyamorous relationships that I'm semi-privy to tend to be the ones where the person that I'm talking to in that relationship just figures out pretty quickly that they're not happy with it because they discover that they do need more attention that they're getting, and it turns out to be a communication thing where it seems that there's not enough.
I find people that are in polyamorous relationships that have that are good open communicators and have good relationships, and they're just upfront and honest with each other.
So that those triggers can be managed.
Well, yeah,
like when the trigger happens, you can.
You want to go out with somebody else tonight, not me. Like, again, who moved my cheese, right? I thought I was getting cheese tonight, and I guess somebody else is getting cheese, and not me. Cheese is sex, but but no, or just attention. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it's just like in life. Like we look at our bodies and we want to down them. Right? Like I know like a burlesque dancer that she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. And she'll be like, I don't think I look that good on stage. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you look really good on stage. And she's like, I don't know, I don't think so. I'm like, that's your own mind. Like, that's totally your own mind. Because, and like I said, even that one, bigger one, like she's, and when I say bigger, she's not, I mean, it's whatever, big, like, it's all sexy. I'll say it right now. You're big, small, thin, fat, doesn't matter. Or chubby? What did we say? I want to be offensive. I was fat when I was 70 pounds heavier, so I'll call it what it was. But like she owned it, and it was sexy, and it was hot. And I think too many women think that they can't be sexy and hot when they're bigger because of high fashion magazines like Vogue and all the Photoshop that goes on. I love your outfit, by the way. You look great.
You really do.
Yeah. And your hair.
Oh, thank you so much.
$70. I think it is. That's a good question. I don't really move from like this little sector, so I don't know. Good luck.
I also enjoy telling pretty people that they're pretty. Like, you're pretty. Like, I'll say it. Like, you're pretty. Like, because pretty people don't get told that they're pretty enough.
Yeah.
I think.
There's a video on YouTube.
My wife taught me that. Tell people they're pretty.
It's like this. I don't know if I'd call it a documentary. I think it's like a social experiment that they just posted after they did it, where they went around with a camera and they would ask somebody, like at school, to step aside, and they'd get a good shot of them, and they'd start filming, and the person would say, "Oh, what's this for?" And the guy would say, "Oh, I just wanted to find things and film things that I think are beautiful." And the whole reason they did it is how this person's face goes from, oh, hey, what's this thing all about, to being told they're beautiful, and like you can't control the smile, the love that fills you about that, and it's just beautiful. Like all different levels and varieties of people, watching them go from insecure and I don't know what this is and does my hair look fine, to just instantly like feeling so appreciated.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful transformation.
Like when I tell somebody that they're pretty, like, because here's the thing, man. All of us go home and look in the mirror and find a flaw. Alright? Like, you're going to find a flaw. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. I mean, I'm sure. I think Kim Kardashian is super hot. I mean, I'm sure she goes and Courtney.
I'm not a booty guy, but
on the face too. But no, I mean, like it's just one of those things that I look at it like tell people that they look good. Because they're gonna be negative to themselves already. Yeah. There's no reason for us to be negative to them. And I used to be a really negative person. Like I would look for the bad and wait for it, and that's a horrible way to live.
It's like confirmation bias. Like
totally.
You'll expect that thing to happen, then when it does, you're just like, "See, I'm right," and it doesn't. It's being that way myself, like. And similarly, I don't think there's any way to like uninstall that programming. So I'm just trying to figure out how to supplement that with. And I think it's just behavior. I think I just have to like seek out opportunities to be positive because I can't control how negative it's going to be. That programming is just going to take over and make me an asshole. So the best thing I can do is just throw things onto the other side of the scale, and then it balances me as a human. To have both happening at the same time.
That's true. You should balance it out, but like, why be negative with yourself at all?
Can you control it?
No, but I mean, like, I correct it when I start seeing myself going down that road.
Oh,
and one
that's
thing.
Healthy. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, that's healthy. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at healthy shit. Not at all. Healthy shit disturbs me. I mean, healthy thoughts are like, man, I'm gonna go to McDonald's instead. So.
I mean, that's a good point that you bring that up. As weird, as strange as food is as an example, I like to go to like sushi or just things that I deem to be like healthy ways of eating. But at some point, I'll look at my bank account and I'll just be like, oh, I can't sustain that. And then I find myself just going back to nonsense out of a convinced attitude that I can't sustain that, when the truth is, maybe I can't go to sushi, like, every other day or something like that, but I can sure as hell go to a grocery store, I can go down aisles that are designed, like, I could do it. Like, it's affordable if you work at it and if it's done right, but that's, like, the laziness, I think, is what stops me and anybody else like me that, like, has an intention to be healthy, but just the work ethic to like get there.
Yeah,
it's not enticing. It's basically like to go to the grocery store, to get all that stuff, to bring it home, to put it away where it goes, then to pull out a few ingredients and stuff, to get out your pots and pans, to like make something, and then after you've eaten it, your brain calculates all the time and effort that it took to get to that moment, and you're just like, but it's worth the extra $10 or $15 for somebody else to just make this, and I'll just like tip them when I'm done, and I get to leave
and not have to clean up after myself.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But like, that's not sustainable. Like, you can't. Very few people can afford that. So I don't know. And I'm wondering with like, Postmates or just all these different apps and things. I'm wondering if it's coming. If there's an easy enough way to sustain that lifestyle that those of us that would.
I don't know. My wife and I basically like order out almost every day.
But I mean,
because we're busy, like, and we have like stuff we have going on.
Ordering crap, I imagine. Like, you're ordering well from good.
We get Cafe Rio or like Thai food or like
good
anyway.
Right?
It's good food. Yeah, we eat good food, but like
made good.
Yeah,
good ingredients.
It's really funny when people are like, so you eat super healthy, right? And I'm like, no, not really.
And you order mindfully, like you're also not ordering like a tub of lard.
No, like, but we'll go and get like Five Guys for dinner or something too. Like, we'll do that. Like, or we'll go out.
It's like a high-end burger. Argument.
It's a good burger. It's a good. I like Five Guys a lot, actually. But I like my wife and I'll go out like clubbing or something on a weekend or out with friends, and like we're going home and we're like, are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. It's like 2:00 in the morning. Well, not quite 2, because In-N-Out's closed after 2. But but like it'll be like 1 or 1:30, and we're like,
so get jacked up on adrenaline.
Yeah, let's go get In-N-Out, right? Like we're getting In-N-Out. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. But no, like it's. I don't know. I don't look at myself and think I eat super healthy. I just don't eat too much.
Oh, that's it too.
That's a hard thing to stop. But and especially emotional eating. Oh, like emotional eating will kill you, man. Like that's like my wife and I had a huge problem with that. We both did.
Yeah.
We were treating each other badly. and then we were emotionally eating.
Wow.
We were being controlling and manipulative with each other, still loving each other.
Did
I'm going to put that in parentheses. Honey, you know that I put this in parentheses if you watch this. Like, we were loving each other, like, the way we knew how.
Did one of you start toward healing before the other one? Like, did one of you either start eating better or start making an active effort to treat the other one better or something, like, before the other? Or was it pretty...
So both of us went on, like, a weight loss...
Jesus meeting.
Like, both of us went on, like, a weight loss journey with each other. Like, about a year and a half ago, we were like, you know what? We should really change the way we are and lose weight. Like, I mean, I'd yo-yo diet for years. Like, I'd do Atkins and drop, like, 30 pounds, and I'd gain all back, and then whatever. But it's not sustainable. Like, doing a diet like that's not sustainable. So, like, what I do now is intermittent fasting. My wife does it, too. Like, we don't eat except for 8 hours out of the day. And we typically only eat, like, one solid meal, you know? Like, this is what I'm eating. Except for when we go clubbing and we're, like, getting in and out in the middle of the night. But excuse me.
Which begs the question, does 2 a.m. in and out fuck with a system that is now running really well from intermittent fasting, from
No, if you do it once in a while, it's not
exercise,
bad. If you do it once in a while, it's not that bad.
Okay.
But if I was to do it, I mean, if I was to break my window, because what intermittent fasting does is, so you're not eating except for those 8 hours out of the day, so your body has the ability to digest the food and then work on other things in your body that your body needs at the same time. So, like, for me, my testosterone was super low. It was like 250. Like, in a guy at my age at the time, like, I should have been like 800, right? So I go into the doctor, I'm like, I feel like crap, like, and he's like, oh, let's see what we can do to help you. He's like, oh, your testosterone's super low, so let's get you on these testosterone injections. And then I started getting, like, implants that would, like, so I wouldn't have to get shots every other week or every week.
Like, they just dissolve? Like,
Yeah, they're like, they look like little pieces of rice, and they, like, make a little incision on your butt. And they, like, pop these little rice pellets in your butt. And then they just dissolve over, like, a 6-month period of time, and, like, slowly.
Weird.
And so, like, I would go from, like, 250 up to, like, 1,300.
Wow. That's
Right?
like
Huge, like a
I
big
need to
jump.
murder somebody.
No, I never wanted to murder. I felt awesome.
Yeah?
Oh, I felt awesome. Like, I felt amazing. And then last July, I went and got, because they make you get tested every 6 months before they give you another implant. And so I go to get tested, and they're like, you're 900. I'm like, no way. And, like, it was, like, even a month past when I was supposed to go in and get checked.
Yeah?
And so they're like, no, you're going to have to wait and then come back and we'll test you again and see where you're at. And I did it again. They're like, you're still 900. Which is higher than what you think like someone your age usually would be. And so he's like, I can't legally give it to you. Like, how much is it if you don't legally give it to me? I'd like to keep myself around 1,300 because it feels good. I mean, it feels really good. I believe that intermittent fasting corrected my hormone issue. That because I was fat and overweight, I had a hormone problem. Because I was abusing my body and myself mentally, I had a lot of other problems, but I had a hormone problem because of it. Right?
Yeah.
So once I started correcting my self-perception problem, which was like, I don't think I look good, like, which lowers your self-esteem. Let's call it what it is. I had a lower self-esteem because of it. I mean, the fact that one of my wife's friends asked her if it would be okay if she asked me if I would be willing to do a strip for a bachelorette party. And she was really nervous to ask her that. And she goes, and I was like, he would totally do it. You should ask him. He would love it. And when she asked me, I'm like, yes, I will. Totally, I will do it. There's no problem about it. When is it? She's like, well, it's not just stripping. Like, we're going to do body painting too. Paint me. I don't care. Do whatever you guys want. Worship me. I don't care. Like, but it's just one of those things where you just have to be like, say yes. Say yes to life.
Yeah.
And, I think being, this bugs me. Are you getting better now?
No, part of the reason I wore pants.
I probably
like,
should've.
I think it's like mosquito season.
I probably should have. I remember that you
Usually I
were
do,
filming it,
and
so
I
I
didn't
didn't wear
know if
like
it's because
bright
I'm like
colors.
part Native American. I can't figure out why they dig me, but no.
Yeah. Are we into this pretty far?
Not as far as I would like. Usually I'll be talking to somebody and I'll just feel
A lull and it's
Like-
not really going anywhere.
well, and I'll look down and it's like 2.5 hours. I'm like, holy lord! But sometimes in a conversation like this where it's just really firing on all cylinders, I'll look down and I'll feel like we've made incredible ground and like it's an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, I made like at least an hour and a half. And then I start thinking about ways to spread it out. But we have more to talk about for sure.
Yeah. But no, like the intermittent fasting, like losing the weight and obviously correcting my hormones, a better body self-image, like self-perception, not just like what other people think, just how I feel about myself. Right?
So,
like that changed my mindset.
did your desire to get into burlesque come after the body was already in good shape?
So,
or did they kind of like work together?
I started emceeing, like I started wanting to do emceeing and stuff for burlesque. I wasn't really thinking about dancing much. And I went to a place over here in Tempe because literally I was going there because I was going to MC a show and I wanted to talk to one of the sponsors of the show. Well, I wanted to talk to the sponsors to know like what it's like. If I'm going to talk about them on stage, I want to know what I'm talking about. So
Get like a little like an ad read thing.
yeah,
Details, something to
So I went in there and I went in to get like a hot shave on my head, and
what is that?
it's really like salt, like sugar scrub your head. They'll do it on your face too, but like they'll sugar scrub my head and then shave it with a straight edge razor. It's just like it's awesome. Yeah, I love it. I do it at least once a month over there. It's called the Burlesque Barber over here in Tempe, and the people that own it are amazing. They're both burlesque performers, and I remember Mia, one of the owners, she was doing my head, and it was the first time I had never met her before, ever. And I was talking to her about how my wife performs burlesque and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, and I'm like, "You should come to this show that I'm emceeing this weekend," and yada yada yada. And I was like, "Yeah, I'd really like to like do a dance," or I'm like, I want to dance, but I want to do it in a better shape. And she's like, "Okay, you're in really good shape right now. Like, why not? Like, why not just go do it?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I turned into like a little girl or whatever, like little boy, and it's like self-conscious, right? I'm like, well, I got this, and it's
Is
just
that
like
weird? Like when someone kicks the door open for you, your first thing is to actually step back and be
you're like,
whoa,
wait
whoa,
a second,
whoa, whoa.
and she's like, you've seen people perform, right?
Uh-huh.
Like none of them are perfect. Nobody's perfect. Like just go and do it. And even her, like she's not the skinniest. I mean, she's not big, but she's not like the skinniest little girl. But like, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. Like, and yeah, go present yourself to the world the way you want to be seen.
Yeah.
And it really like after that, I'm like, nah, that's it. I did a number where, because it was a Dirty Disney show that I was emceeing. And so it was like, that's when my wife did the Maleficent. Like, that's when she came up with it.
Oh, okay.
It was for that show. And I was like, my wife's like, you should do Woody from Toy Story. Because I was trying to come up with a stage name for myself. And I liked the name Woody. And she's like, you should do Woody from Toy Story.
That answers that question.
Yeah. And I'm like, nice. And like, the producer for that show was like, you need to call yourself Woody Fillmore. And I'm like, there's already a burlesque performer in Phoenix with the last name Fillmore. I'm not gonna do that.
So you went with Kimura?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name.
Beautiful name.
But I feel like it has such a connotation.
But it has
for
such
you
a,
and for me.
But it has such a dirty undertone when you say it. When you actually read
You just
it,
like the...
I love it.
The way it...
Kimura.
I'm following you now. Okay.
Like,
Got it.
It just has such a dirty... And honestly...
How
It's,
about her? Where'd she get her name?
My wife's?
Was it Raven, I think?
It's Raven Kimura. So, like, her name was Raven Kimura before I was Woody Kimura.
Oh.
So, I was actually golfing. She was trying to come up with a last name for herself, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, she's like, spitballing, throwing stuff out. My dad's even trying to help my wife come up with a last name. Like, he's like texting her, like, these names. And my sister's like, this is weird. And I'm like, why is it weird? Like, my dad's been supportive of her the whole time, and I wasn't. It's like he was more supportive than I was in the beginning. Like, yeah, go do it, Heidi, do it yourself. And I'm like, shut up. But I was golfing with my friends, and actually, all the guys that I was golfing with that day were all ex-Mormon. Like, none of us are active anymore.
Okay.
Some of us are right now. Like, I have my name removed from the records of the church. Some of the other ones do. Some of them don't. Like, but like, we're just out, and we're all from Utah. It's actually kind of funny. Only one of them I knew in Utah before. The other two are actually brothers that lived around me, but I never knew them, like, at all. And like, lived in Pleasant Grove and then Spanish Fort. But we were just playing, and I'm like, I said something. I'm like, wouldn't it be hilarious if my wife's last name was Kimura? Because that's a dirty name. Like, that's a dirty name, right, guys? And they're like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. That's so funny. Because, like, any active Mormon would be like, that's funny. Maybe not. I don't know. Do you like it or not?
My first reaction to it was just...
Because I think it's
is it an intentional connotation? And if that's the case, would he want to go this far to say fuck you to the Mormon church?
It really isn't. I used to be bitter.
Because the cum part of it didn't register. And maybe it's the spelling. Maybe it's the H off or something. Like, it wouldn't. No, I get it.
O-R-A-H
is the hill. And so maybe if, like, the H came off, if something changed, dude, maybe it would register.
If it's just A-H, what does that sound make?
I get you. I'm all in now that I get it. But when I first read it...
And Joseph Smith came up with it, and he's like, we need to have multiple wives. I'm like, okay, cool. Because he just wanted to Kimura.
Shit.
I mean, I'm not... all the Mormons that are watching this, it's fine. I don't have a problem with their names.
I think they tuned out when I was jerking off the porn.
They're probably like, we're not listening to this anymore. This guy jerks off the porn. And you do too. Tell your bishop. Whatever. Don't. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, so basically Woody was your original piece, and then you just jumped on board with her with the Kimura thing.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I was trying to come up with last name, and I didn't want to be like, why can't we do your name? Can I use it too? I wasn't even thinking that way, like, at all. Like, I wasn't. And it was funny, like, January, I was at, and I would say Woody, I was on stage before that, but like, in January, she was like, I was at a show for her, and I was talking with some people there, and they were like, oh yeah, Woody's a good name. And I always loved the name Woody. Like, Woody Harrelson's one of my favorite actors. Like, he's awesome. And honestly, my wife got to interview Woody Harrelson. He's like he's probably one of the most grateful people I've ever met in my life. Like that, he says,
She's a journalist?
She has a review and giveaway blog called thebragmommy.com. And so she'll go out and do like press screenings and stuff sometimes with like some of the movies. Not all of them, but like she gets invited on them and stuff and goes. She's good at it. She's awesome. Honestly, my wife's amazing. Like, I haven't said that to her enough in our marriage. She is an amazing person. Like, she's way better than I am. Pardon. Way better than I am as a person. But I was at that show, and we're all talking, and she went over and she was talking to somebody else, and then her and that other person come over, and they're like, Ken, you should take her name. She took your name in real life. Take her name in burlesque life. Be married there too.
Justice. That's wonderful.
And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. But she's like, I want you to. And I'm like, I didn't come up with it. So yeah, like, it was funny because when I called her about it, like, I was driving home from golfing with my friends, and I'm like, I got your name, and I know you're gonna say no right off the bat, but I think you should use Kimura. And she's like, why? And I go, and she goes, yes, please, yes, this is what I want. And really, like, how I look at it, it's like, it's kind of a nod to our past. And I don't mean it to be like degrading or mean to the LDS faith.
That makes me feel a little better that it is a reference. Like,
it's a reference. I mean, that's a big part of my life, dude. Like, until I was 10 years ago, and until I was 27 years old, like, I was Mormon. And the first part of my marriage, I was like super Mormon, like honey, we're going to church today. And she's like, I don't feel like it. We're going to church. Even if you don't want to, we're going. Because I control you, woman. Like, but I feel like religion instilled that in me. My dad probably instilled that in me too, because I watched how I treated my mom. But it's just one of those. It's just one of those things that, like, religion. I truly believe that if we were all like children, we would be able to love everyone. We would just be able to love, and whether that means that you have sex with somebody else or you don't, or you live a celibate life, whatever that is, you have love to give to other people, and you should give it. You should tell people that they're pretty. You should tell people that you like what they're doing. Don't be negative. Like, why drag somebody down? Why tell somebody that because they're gay, they're not accepted? Why tell somebody that because they're a stripper, they shouldn't be able to say that in everyday life and feel good about themselves? I've met, like, legit strippers, not burlesque. I mean, you're stripping in burlesque. And it's kind of, burlesque kind of gives, like, a bad connotation to people that work in, not everybody, but there's some people that just, like, we're classy strippers. And I'm like, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Like, because we choreograph a dance with a unicorn, we're a classy stripper? Like, I don't even know what that means, but like, if you like doing what you do, and I've met strippers that are like, no, I like working at a club. Like, it makes me happy. And how could I ever look at somebody and say, no, it doesn't? Like, how would I know if they're happy or not? Like, I know that I am happier in my life now, today, than I have ever been in my life. Ever been in my life. And it's because I can be my authentic self. And I literally don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. If you don't like when I was leaving the Mormon church, like, for about a year and a half, I didn't believe it anymore. I was a young men's advisor in my ward, and I was living it for like a year because I was scared that my wife would leave me if I came out and said, I don't believe this anymore, I think it's bullshit. And I'm not trying to be offensive, that's just how I think. I think all religious bullshit doesn't work.
I feel like that whole story would be a whole separate podcast. You and I have talked about that, and just like when you went to your bishop at one point, and you were even telling him, like, here are some problems that I have. Here's some stuff that I've read that I can't get over. And if I remember correctly, you were telling me, like, this really touching story about people doing what they could to try to help you.
Yeah,
like,
no, I meant
even condemning you, trying to, like, give you references, give you some.
A lady that worked for me at the time, Missy. I mean, she's awesome. She's a really cool person. Super Mormon. I mean, I love Missy to death. I've known her for a long time. And she used to work for my dad's company, and then I hired her because they went belly up, so she needed another job. So she worked for me for a while, and I told her about my concerns, and she was like, you should talk to my dad. He's he wasn't at the time, he was retired, but he was the director of the Institute at UVU. Okay. So, and he's stake president and stuff. I think at the time when I talked to him, he wasn't a stake president anymore, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he's a very knowledgeable guy, right? And he took the time to sit down with me at his house and try to answer my questions. We spent about an hour and a half going over my questions. And he's like, it all just comes down to faith and believing that Joseph Smith was a prophet. I'm like, that's my problem. I don't believe it. and I feel that I have evidence that he's not. And he's like, well, but I feel like I have evidence that he is. And, you know, there's no meeting of the minds there, right? Because we have a different point of view, but he was never mean. And I felt like he was doing it in a very loving way. Like, I really can't down him for the way that he was presenting it to me. Like, he did a good job presenting his case to me. I just didn't agree. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, I
almost feel like the way that it could be said better, and it's not said this way in the Mormon church, but the way that it, I think, is actually true in all of their hearts, or the believing side is, do I want Joseph Smith to be a prophet? Or do I not want him to be, or don't care?
Or do I just need him to be so I can live the way that I think I'm supposed to live?
Which is a separate.
That's totally different.
Like group in
That's
there.
totally
and
there.
Those ones, most of those people, I just don't even get along with because I can't figure them out. But at least the one, like the positive end of it, I don't
Felicia.
feel like.
Sorry.
Good one. I don't feel like it's. It's programmed into the nomenclature to be like, I know this church is true, I know this, I know that.
Yeah,
I've
you're
even
saying
tried
it when
to
you're
boil
5
that
and you're like, you
down.
don't know anything.
Right.
Like,
I've tried to boil that down to even just accepting, saying, instead of I know, that I believe the Book of Mormon is true, that I believe Joseph is a prophet.
Yeah, because
but
nobody
the more
here
that I
knows
think
that.
about it, the more
Nobody
I'm
here
just
knows
like,
that.
even to get to I believe, even the Jesus thing, even to get to I believe in Jesus, I can't get there. It can't get there without me wanting it to be true in the first place, which means everything that I believe is just something that I would very much like to be true.
Yeah, I mean...
And there's nothing wrong with that, but like, I feel like you really got to start there to acknowledge within yourself why you're doing the things that you do to even justify any of it. You are where you are in your belief system because you want it to be
Because
true.
you choose to believe it.
Yeah.
And you may have been taught it as a child, or somebody may have convinced you as an adult.
Right.
But you've looked at it, and I've talked to my dad about why he joined the Mormon church when he did, like when he converted. And he's like, these good family values, and I thought it was he believed it.
The
I mean,
community has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could help.
Yeah. And so he believed it.
Yeah.
Like he told himself that it was true. He believed it, but it didn't mean that. It doesn't make it true. And like even with my wife, right? I don't know that my wife loves me. I can look and see certain. No, I mean, but honestly,
no, this is like.
But if you're
such a good.
But if you're being honest with yourself, like
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest with myself, I can say I could say right now, I know my wife loves me. But at the end of the day, I don't truly know that because I'm not her.
Yeah.
She can tell me that she does.
I've been thinking recently because when I went back to Pennsylvania, one of the families that I was in my first area. It was a part member family actually. Okay. So it was this really interesting thing where like the dad wasn't a member, and missionaries knew that, and they'd go and they'd talk to him and stuff like that. Sweet guy. He came to church every single week with his family, but he just didn't ever make the decision to join. He passed away a few years ago.
Was it Larry Fortune?
No, but I've heard of him, and I hear good stories about him.
Larry Fortune's badass. And Tracy is, I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't go to their house more often than I should have, because we went over there once and she was sunbathing in bikini in the backyard. And I was like, oh my God. Tracy, you're beautiful. Like, and I'm sorry I didn't marry your sister. But I love my wife. So
in going back, I had, in serving in the area, I had a crush on their 16-year-old daughter, but I think most missionaries did, so whatever. In going back, I reconnected with the family, and specifically her, and we've actually been talking every day since.
Nice.
It is nice, and it's really nice to like reconnect with her, and you know, and I guess...
Is she Mormon?
No.
Which you can't do it. You can't do that.
I so can, and it's a life that I kind of want in a weird way, but it's just because my connection to Mormonism now is way different than most people's. Something I've been thinking about on the vein of like I don't know that my wife loves me kind of thing. My insecurities, my abandonment issues from like all these failed relationships are just so strong that I envision being in a relationship and just smothering that person to death, asking them every single day, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Just trying to like fill that thing inside of myself. And what I realized just in the last week or two is like, let's say it happens. Let's say that you two connect and everything falls in line and you move there, she moves here, and you guys get to be together and it's marriage and great. It would be so helpful for you to realize that you're going to wake up every day. In your effort to be healthy, you're going to get to wake up every day and sit up in bed and see her laying there sleeping and think to yourself every day, she could leave you today. She could choose something else. She could just not be happy here anymore, and she could just up and leave, and you've got two choices. To just go off the deep end of your own self-pity and be ridiculous, or to be grateful for the time that you've had up to this moment, to love her, laying there in that bed, and to your point, to just love her onto whatever road she's going onto.
Loving her enough
My
to let her go into her
ego
life.
hates having that conversation with it, just in the hypotheticals. But the more I think about it, to your point of like, you've been in this marriage for all these years,
15
you wake
years?
up every day. I have it in my head that you're beyond the point of trust. That like you guys are just so connected that neither of you ever have to worry about their
God, not
feelings for
even.
each other.
No,
but I
God.
have to really connect to the fact that every day you deal with the fact. Like Brene Brown, she just released this like new thing on Netflix. It's really good. You should watch it. It's about like shame and vulnerability and all that. And she tells this whole story about with her husband, and they've been together for like 10 or 15 years at the point of this story. And she has this moment where he's reacting weirdly to something she said to him, and she says in her head, she's like, oh my God, am I going to find out that I'm getting a divorce, while I'm in a bathing suit in a pool? And as I'm hearing her just tell this story, this moment of her thinking that he might be wanting to divorce her makes me think, nobody's fucking safe. There's not a single marriage out there that's so damn secure, dude, that both parties aren't constantly being like, man, I don't know if they're happy. I don't know if they're happy with me. I don't know if this is working.
Marriage is a commitment that you make every day.
I mean, that sounds great, and I'd like to crack at it.
Does it sound great?
Dude, I was married
because
for 3
the
years,
ability to be able to go out and do whatever the hell you want to do, that's a very freeing thought, right?
It's only freeing for about 2 years, and then you're just like, maybe like the whole sentiment of like, is it good for man to be alone? I submit to you, it's not. I don't think we're designed.
Oh no, we are definitely hurt people. Right.
So
we're sheep.
Like
we're
the
all
single
sheep.
thing's cool for a bit, but then you're just like, then all you can see is how happy everybody else is, and you're just kind of like in this weird voidy place.
But that's the thing. Like you're looking at people and saying they're happy. But if you're there in their bedroom at night, right? Like I have a friend that told me the other day that he hasn't had sex with his wife in over a year. That's a long time. Hell yeah, that's a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, a year? And you live together?
Right?
I mean, I guess it's not a friend. But
how many times can you see someone step out of the shower and just not be like, I mean, what's the line between consent and this is happening? Like, well, I mean, you're gorgeous, and are you just going to get on board halfway through me initiating this? I don't know what's about to happen.
I know for a fact my wife has had sex with me out of obligation in the past.
Good for her.
She can admit it. She told me that, and I felt horrible when she told me that. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, I feel like shit. But like, I should hear that. Mm-hmm. Like, she should be free to tell me that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me bad that happened. It doesn't make me right, wrong. It's just, she felt like she had to.
Have you guys achieved all of the healthy turns in your marriage with zero counseling? Like, does it just come to one or both of you over time, and you just make the right turn, and off you go up a healthy,
my wife's in counseling right now. I need to go to counseling, obviously. This is the shit I'm saying. No, it's like, but we've never done marriage counseling or anything.
Wow.
And all of our whole life, like our whole marriage, like it's actually interesting, like how we have managed to stay together through it all. And I think it's truly because we're best friends. Like, she really is my best friend. Like, I would confide anything in her. Like, if I had sex with another woman, I would tell her. Like, I wouldn't hide it from her. I would straight up say it to her.
This is where the name got me. I was just like, would you come more in her?
Right? Like,
the name's great. It really is. Damn it.
Today my wife texted me. She's like, so-and-so's not feeling really good about themselves. Reach out to her. Tell them pretty.
That's nice that, like, you're an extension of each other. Where it's like, she's like, I could tell her she's pretty, but woman to woman, that may not mean as much, but my partner, my companion over here, who's
that girl likes me.
A healthy...
I like her, too.
And
like, I like
use
her
that. That's amazing.
Like, I like her. Like, I do.
And your wife's like, this is going to be a
tell her
lot.
she's pretty.
I'm gonna initiate something that's really gonna make her feel good.
Yeah.
Because of the avenue through which it's coming. And it's just he's my left arm, so I can do that. I can initiate the puppetry and be like, hey.
Yeah, she can send me a dirty
this.
photo of herself, and then she tell me that I should go tell somebody else that.
Yeah.
That's great. Or say something dirty to me. But I think that's really cool about our relationship, that we can do that. We can allow each other to be free enough to like say something like that to somebody else and not think that it's a rejection.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Like, it's never about, like, everybody wants, if you want to take the rejection of you on you.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. First of all, I've read a lot of self-help books because I did not get here on my own. And there's a couple books I want to tell you to read that I think would really help you.
Okay.
One is called The Power of Now.
Heard of it. Haven't taken the dive.
Read it or listen to it.
Okay.
Eckhart Tolle's a spiritualist, but we always want to live in the future and the past. We never want to be present right now.
Right.
And being present, when you're not present, when I'm constantly thinking about things that I've done wrong in the past, or I'm thinking about what I want to do in the future, like, I'm not living my life now. And if I'm worried about a significant other being with somebody else, well, what if they want that? What if they truly want to have a genuine connection and experience with somebody else, right?
Like, do you acknowledge the humility even in just that confession to yourself? That maybe that's just what she wants, and that the tone in which you're saying it isn't even like frustrated or hurt, is just open to it? Especially in a marriage, that's humility. I mean, that's damn near meekness.
Okay. I think it's non-control. And I think it's true love. I think that when you can let go of control and say to your significant other, I'm okay with you having a loving relationship with somebody else, even if that includes sex, I think that's true love. To allow somebody to go and do that, and really to say allow, that's a horrible way to say it. I think that's a really horrible way to say it.
It's a controlling way to
It's a controlling way to say it. Because it's not, it shouldn't be control. It should be like...
or to say that, like, any version of that, it's okay with me if you do that. Any version
like, I'm cool with it, whatever.
Right,
you have my permission. Like, you need my permission to use your own body. Like, oh, you masturbate? Well, I gave you permission to do that, honey. Like, what the hell?
Which opens up an amazing conversation of what is that conversation then?
And what is your relationship? If your relationship in marriage is like sex, like if that's what your relationship is, that you have to have sex with each other, like, that's not a marriage. That's not a true relationship. That's weird. Like, that's forced intimacy with somebody.
I mean, how, on a percentage level, how much do you think sex?
Oh, my wife told me that. I was so excited. I'm like, sweet. I'm going to text her right now.
Right, how much of like the pie chart of marriage, of a complete marriage, like what percentage does sex occupy in your opinion with your experiences?
My marriage? That's an ebb and flow, man. Like, there's times when I wasn't wanting to have sex with my wife and she wasn't wanting to have sex with me, and it might go for a season where it's like, yeah, you have sex like maybe once a week, or maybe there's times when you're just fucking like
That's
bunnies.
interesting.
Like, there's been seasons where, like, we're having sex multiple times a day, and then there's, like, seasons, and not just in the beginning, in the beginning, but, like, and then other times where, like, we didn't have sex more than once a week or once a month. And I was using my hand a lot during that time. Like, that's fine. Like, that's okay. Like, it's okay to admit that, like, you might have a bad relationship in your marriage. You might even be toxic in your marriage. Like, what you're defining is a codependent relationship where you have to sit up every day and tell yourself, like, you love me, right? I love you. Yeah, we're good, right? Like, that's codependency. And I've been codependent with my wife before.
Yeah?
Extremely codependent.
Wow.
Like, I think we still have codependent issues with each other now that I think we should really work on. Like, not doing it. And part of it's my fault. Like, it's me, not her, but me. And there's times it's her, but, like, I see the codependency in myself. And I think really what it comes down to is all of us are afraid to be alone.
Yeah.
And so if we can control our spouse and tell them that it's not okay if you go and have a drink with somebody that you really like, or whatever, you go on a date with them and just talk. I don't know, have sex, or whatever it is. Like, it's a controlling. It's a control, and you're not letting somebody live their life. And if you're doing it because you're scared that they're going to leave you, it's definitely control.
Here's a question. In the vein of sex and in the vein of like post-monogamous relationships and things, am I misinterpreting the findings of the whole Kinsey era of sociohuman sex relationship research, where it seems like what he found was that the research he was trying to do couldn't even beat its end because of the human tendency to get attached via sex? So, like, he couldn't even really prove some of just the primate findings that he was looking for because marriages were just breaking up and relationships were getting all fucked up for no other reason than just that cross-sexual, emotional was just too much for so many of the people that the data got all fucked up, and he was just like, wow, well, this didn't actually go anywhere. I didn't prove anything.
Like I thought it was going to.
Yeah. Like, in the sense of, like, you know, these polyamorous couples or all that, I guess that's how I've started to look at it, where it's just like, but I think, even on a scientific level, some people have tried to prove what I think these polyamorous couples are trying to prove with their life, and it's been disproven. It's been disproven that humans, that we as social creatures, like, can abide anything but monogamy. Like, that we don't get jealous or that we don't get threatened or abandoned or any of that. Like, we do. That's how we react to it. Thus, why are we fighting it? Like, it seems like there's enough data out there to support that, like, religious or not, this is, as the mammal that we are, this is what we're built for. Why seek something outside of that? What are you trying to prove by even...
What do you mean? Like, to be monogamous? Or...
Monogamy is...
the social norm.
Yes, but not... I don't think based on, like, the controlling nature of religion or any of that. I think it's the social norm because the primate that we are, like, social, the communities that we live in, all that sort of thing, I think what has been discovered is this is the preferable, the healthy social preference for our species. And so for people to, like, just decide, well, we're gonna do our own thing. We don't function like that. It's like, okay, well then deny your biology if that's what you feel like doing, but buckle up, because there's a brick wall that you're headed right toward that, like, generations before you have tried that, and guess what? It always came back to monogamy. Why? Because this species just...
Did it because sheep herders in the Bible had multiple marriages?
Well, I would imagine that probably had something to do with the polygamy that existed back then. Not just religiously, but... I mean, it's there's even... What's the one where it's not... the patriarchal polygamy, but it's the other way around, where, like, one woman has, like, a bunch of husbands.
Not vaginate. That's not the word.
Could it please be vaginate?
It's not the word. There's a word. I actually heard it the other day.
Yeah. What is it? Anyway, that it exists both ways in vast cultures. So maybe you're right. Maybe
sister
Homo sapiens haven't proved that.
But I looked at my phone because I had my wife text me this one.
Yeah, this time.
And I know she's probably like,
Should we
hey.
call it?
No.
She's like, it's 9:30. Where the balls are you? You're not this interested in her. You tell her. Shut her pretty mouth. You should do a podcast with her. Forget me doing it. You should sit down with your wife and share with the world the beauty of burlesque. But no, we'll wrap this thing up. Do you,
she's asking me if I was supposed to pick up dinner. We're going to get Chipotle. We're close to 10. So.
We'll get you out. So on Instagram, you can find the sexy man, Woody Kimura. Literally, Matt Woody Kimura, which is WODYCUMORAH. And his wife, Raven Kimura, if you want to check her out, she's
super hot, man.
A good time. And I'll twist his arm and I'll get him to do, like, his first podcast. It'll just be the two of you sitting down. That would be the most fun in the world.
Is there anything else you want to ask?
most of the people that I've asked, that I've sought out to be on this thing, are people that just are so high functioning that I'm like, this is gonna be fun. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna off road, and that's gonna be great. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to get like a lot of good mission stuff out of you, mostly because I would love to like include what we're doing here in the documentary. But I don't.
We can talk about mission stuff.
I don't know, like. I don't know if like leaving the church has changed the way you feel about that stuff to the point that even the stories or the memories are different.
I have very positive memories from my mission. Very positive.
Yeah.
Things that I learned on my mission that I don't think I would have learned it anywhere else. I used to be bitter that I went. Like when I left the church, I was like, I feel like I had 2 years of my life stolen from me. But as I actually take a step back, and I feel like that because I feel like I was lied to. But like at the end of the day, like I could say that these people were lying to me, but they believed it. Like if they believed it, they weren't really lying. Even though I don't think it was true, they weren't lying to me. They were just telling me what they thought. And I feel like my parents were really trying to raise me in the best way they know how. And it might have been, in my view now, a really messed up way to raise me. But like because it breeds a lot of shame. Just in like, I mean, you're 12 and you're like, you're not supposed to masturbate. Like, what I do? Like,
a lot.
I'm bad, right? Somebody says boob and I masturbate. Like, you have to see it. Because I didn't have the internet when I was a kid. But, or I would have watched it all the time.
All the time. I don't know
how the kids these days do it. Right? But no, it's one of those things where it's like, why shame people? Like, why make people feel bad for being themselves? Like if you like kissing multiple people or sleeping with multiple people, like, and everyone's consensual and it's okay, do it. If you want to get up on a stage and take off your clothes and have people throw dollar bills at you, get up and do it. $20 bills, whatever, man.
Yeah.
But like seriously, like if that's what you want to do with your life, if you want to be a CEO of a company, go do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Because your life is the only life that you have, and if you're living it for somebody else, you're doing it wrong. That's truly how I feel. And my wife taught me that. She taught me that. Like, if she's living my life for me, she's doing it wrong. Yeah. And I agree with her. I completely agree with her now. I didn't have
so
time.
Good. Yeah.
So and I don't think I would have been married as long as I have if I didn't go on mission. That's like I learned to live with people I did not like.
Yeah.
On multiple levels.
Yeah.
At least for a season.
Yeah.
And work through it.
Yeah.
And I think that has helped me a lot in my marriage. Has helped me a lot. Like when there's times in my marriage where I didn't want to be with her. Or I felt controlled or manipulated because that's what she was doing. Because that's what happens in marriage. Control and manipulation happens in marriage. It happens in all marriages. I don't care how healthy you are. At some point, you will control and manipulate yourself. I don't care who you are. And if you're the person that can, go through it, never do it, kudos to you, and I want to interview you. Like, because I just don't see, I don't think I've ever seen a marriage where people weren't doing that in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's through religious belief or in making them feel bad because they want to do something different or any of it. It's just because they want to sleep with somebody else. Like, just because somebody has a sexual relation with somebody else doesn't mean that they don't love you. If your love is based on sex, then like, how do you love your kids? I've never had sex with any of my kids, and I never will, for various reasons. One very important reason: they're my kids. Like, and it's not okay in my mind. But like, I love each of my children, and I love them for different reasons. And I think our relationship is an intimate relationship. Where there's a connection between us that's not sexual, but it's love, and it's true love, and if I want my kid to be the very best person that they can be, and to live life freely the way that they want to, and I'm not giving that to my spouse, fuck me. I'm a horrible person, and I've only realized that recently, like within the last 6 months, a lot of it within the last month. like just going, oh my God. Like even just like this last week where I'm like, I have been so controlled. Like, and like realizing the control levels that I've had through our marriage. Like, yeah, it's been less and less and less and less over the years, but like, and especially over the last 2 years, but like, I don't think it's love. I don't think it's love to tell somebody they can't do something. I don't think it's love if your spouse comes to you and says, I love this other person. They go, well, then you need to move out. Like the most beautiful thing that I heard when I was talking to I actually went to a polyamorous discussion group just to learn about it. This is really fascinating to me. Like I want to learn. And this woman that was leading it, she said, in monogamy, it's serial. Like people will not. Most marriages don't last. I mean, over 50% fail, right? Like we want to act like they don't, and then people get divorced and they get with somebody else, and they get divorced again, right? But that's just loving somebody else for a season and then leaving. One of the most beautiful things that she said was, and she's been polyamorous for a long time. She's my age, but she's been doing it since she was like 20. And she said, if I have a balloon, this really cool looking blue balloon, and then I see a red balloon, why do I have to let go of this balloon? Why can't I have both? And that to me, like, it's hard to wrap your head around. But I get it. Like, why would I let go of a balloon that I really love just because I see something else that I love too, or I meet somebody else that I love too? And that
I was really good at that. And she called it like yes and thinking, and I never could wrap my head around it.
Well, like her husband, like in that group, her husband was talking about it. He's like, he's like, there's a dancing partner that I had that like I truly loved her, like, and I never had sex with her, never kissed her, never did anything like that. Like but we danced together. She was married, she was monogamous. He's like, never even tried, but like I loved her, and it was a true love. Like it was pure, and and I only wanted the best for her. And that was our relationship. That was our love language with each other. And I thought that was so beautiful. That he could have that relationship with her and still love his wife. Like, fully love his wife. And I mean, he has other relationships that are sexual. But they love each other. And they allow each other to be free to be themselves. And it's... I don't know. I just think every avenue of life is different, and everyone wants to think that their avenue is the best. But we should just be accepting and loving to other people. Yeah. And I think the more we can show love, and I hate to sound like a hippie, love and good vibes to other people, like it comes back. Like I don't really believe in karma, but I think it's just the way you are. You attract what you are from the universe.
Yeah.
And so if you're putting out negative vibes, you're going to get negativity back. Yeah. If you're putting out controlling vibes, you're going to get control back. If you're putting out abandonment vibes, you're going to get abandoned. You will self-fulfill. You will totally self-fulfill. So yeah, that's just kind of how I look at it. It's just you need to be free, and I think one of the most freeing things you can do for somebody is say, hey, go and be you, and I hope you still love me when it's all said and done. Like, you let the bird out of it. Like, everyone wants to say, like, I opened the cage and they're okay, right? Like, it's okay, I opened the cage. Like, yeah, but isn't it beautiful when that bird flies out of that cage and then comes back and that's its home? Like, that's, to me, that's a really beautiful thing. And, yeah, I don't know. That's my mindset at the moment.
There's not a better period to put on this podcast. That was beautiful.
Yeah, so.
And thanks for doing this, dude.
No problem, man.
It means everything to me. And I'm going to come out and see one of these crazy shows. I'm so excited to just see how this world functions.
The next one I'm doing, I actually did one here in Mesa last week, but it was at the Harley Davidson in Mesa. And they're like, it's funny because the producer's like, you are not stripping down to thongs, and you're not taking your bras off to all the girls. And I was like, I'm laughing because I'm like, but this is a Harley Davidson dealership. And I was making jokes about riding hogs like the entire time. How I love my hog between my legs. Like, that's, whatever. It's just fun, just life.
It's good times.
It is.
All right, buddy.
So, thanks for inviting me, dude. This is good.
Yeah.
It's actually very therapeutic. Like, just to talk about, like, actually, like, yeah, I do feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I got a lot on this.
So, like, honestly, like the books that I've read that like really helped me, like I've been on a self-improvement journey over the last 2 years, like just like in reading books that are like, hey, this is going to help me in my life. And I read The Power of Now, which I told my wife about. She read it, really helped her. Who Moved My Cheese, which I just recently read, and I wish I would have read that when I was a kid. And it's a short book, it's a really short book. What is that? I'm actually listening to a book on polyamory right now. Like how it functions and like what it looks like.
Yeah.
And like it's like ethical polyamory, like being honest with everyone that you know. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Where's my library? Excuses Begun. So yeah, The Power of Now, Excuses Begun, and I just finished the book Can't Hurt Me from David Goggins. And I learned about doing like those accountability mirror times. You actually like look at yourself and realize like the shit that you do in your life, and, like what you're doing to hurt others. And that's helped me. Like help me let go of things. It helps you let go of like resentment. It'll help you let go of abandonment issues. Like honestly, dude, I would if you're having issues with abandonment issues, I would go and get them. I would go and talk to somebody. It doesn't need to be someone that can prescribe you medication. Just like somebody that, even if it's a friend that you're able to just talk to. Because like as my wife tells me about like her therapy, it's like the therapist doesn't really do a whole lot. Like besides charge you $150 for an hour. But she gets to talk about like her thoughts and like what she wants and what she desires, and the therapist can help her like say, hey, well, do you really think that's healthy to think like that? Like she can be like, Ken's being an asshole, right? And like this is why he's being an asshole. And she's like, well, do you really think he's being an asshole, or is he just being insecure? Right? Like that's a big like realizing that the people that are around you that are doing things that are hurting you, they're not doing it to hurt you, and it's a very narcissistic view to think that they are. They're just living their life, and their actions are hurting you because you're allowing them to. And that's a hard realization to come to. And it's your own hell that you're creating around yourself. Yeah. So that's very true. But yeah, like those 3 books, like I would tell anybody to read them.
You just did.
So
it's a great way to end. Cool, man.
So
love your face.
Thank you.